All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here ready to do another preview. Today, we're going to be talking about the 33-year-old driver out of Pennsylvania, Brent Marks, who has signed on to compete full-time with Highlander Racing next year, driving the Murray Marks Racing number 19. Brent, I believe, is technically the crew chief. He makes those calls as far as the setup goes, but the car chief is Heath Moyle. Now, before I get into things, don't mind the sweatshirt here. I have no affiliation with Ohio State University. My girlfriend bought me the sweatshirt, and to keep her happy, I wear it every now and again. So don't hate me for that. I just wear it to stay warm and for the other reason I mentioned a moment ago. Now, let's jump right into it. So 2017, and this is something that people that are maybe newer into the sport of sprint car racing don't really know, that Brent Marks actually ran on the Outlaw Tour for 3 years, back in 2017, 18, and 19. So in order to, I feel like, get a good grasp maybe on how he does when he's chasing a points championship, I want to go over those 3 years that he had on the Outlaw Tour first. So in 2017, he had 75 starts, 75 A mains, and 81 appearances. Only missed the show 6 times, is pretty good. 0 wins, just 1 top 5 finish in 75 starts, 23 top 10s, 0 laps led, and he finished 10th in the point standings in 2017. Now, 2018, the numbers do get better, but what is somewhat glaring here is the fact that he had missed 12 A-main events in 2018. So 60 A-mains, 72 appearances. He missed 12, but he did get 3 victories that season to go along with 7 top 5s. It's just 6 more than the year before that. Still not as many top 5s as you would obviously want. 29 top 10s, 71 laps led, and that year he was able to finish 9th in the point standings against the Outlaws. 2019 comes around, this number does get better. He jumps up to 69 A-mains in 72 appearances, just missing 3 shows. But a couple of these numbers do regress. 1 win in 2019, once again, 7 top 5s again. He just could not get into the top 5 very often in those 3 years. 25 top 10s, 41 laps led, and he slid back to 10th in points again in 2019. So after the 2019 season's over, he does not run full-time with the Outlaws again, or with any series full-time until now. Let's jump into a couple more analytics here, a couple more stats for those 3 years. 2017, when you look at the plus-minus for Brent Marks, really in all 3 of those years, it is absolutely mind-blowing the amount of cars he was passing per night. In 2017, in the features alone, he had passed 208 cars in features alone. The problem was the next stat. His qualifying average was absolutely terrible. And I think Brent Marks 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago would tell you that he needed to work on qualifying. Since then, he's gotten much better. Qualifying average was 15.7 with the Outlaws in 2017. Only 6 dash appearances and 31 appearances in the B main. 31 to 75 starts. You're closing in on half of his races he had to come out of the B main. 2018, that number gets better in plus-minus. 227 cars passed in 2018. His qualifying average just gets slightly better at 15.4. Still 6 dash appearances, and actually gains more in the last chance showdown / B-main appearances. He jumps up to 32 B-main appearances in 2018, although he does pass more cars. 2019, it's a red number in the plus-minus, but it is still a crazy number at plus 178 cars passed. Qualifying average does get better for him, the best of his Outlaw career at 13.6. He does go to 9 dash appearances that year and drops the last chance showdowns considerably down to 19 B-mains in 2019. Now, obviously, those were his Outlaw stats. Now, let's jump to the year that just passed, 2023, and we'll show you his stats from the All-Stars, High Limit, and the Outlaws. In 49 appearances, he made the show 47 times, missed 2 shows along the way. Had 4 wins throughout the year, 21 top 5s, 36 top 10s, and 82 laps led. Now, for those other stats in 2023, these were kind of hard to find, so some of these numbers are just with the Outlaws. So plus 67 as far as passing cars in the features with the Outlaws. Qualifying average. Look at the qualifying average compared to when he was a full-time Outlaw. He was at 13.6 in 2019. That was his best. This past year, 7.1. Obviously, a much smaller sample size, but that's still a pretty good number. 21 dash appearances and just 8 B-main appearances for Brent Marks in 2023 against the 3 big series. So big wins for Brent Marks. Obviously, there is a lot of them. He's won the Dirt Classic. He won the Kings Royal and the historical big one in the same year. That was kind of the big year for him. Tuscarora 50. He's won the National Open at Williams Grove on 2 occasions. 2 Ohio Sprint Speed Week wins, 11 PA Speed Week wins, and he's got 14 Outlaw victories to go along with 11 wins with the All-Stars. Now, let's jump over here to this side of the board. SprintCarRatings.com, over the last 2 years, has Brent Marks as the #1 driver in 410 sprint car racing between, money earned, finishing position, top 5s, top 10s, how many races they ran, the competitive, the aspect of where he was racing at. He wasn't just racing against some local smokies down at, backyard speedway. He was racing against the best. And so that factors into this number as well. So first overall in the last 2 years combined, 157 starts in those 2 years and 31 victories. He had 13 wins in 2023, 18 wins in 2022. So you had 4 wins with the Big 3 Series, but then you add in 9 more in Central PA to go up to that 13 number. Now let's get into his strengths and weaknesses, and then we'll finish things out with the prediction for what I think Brent Marks will do this coming season. In the strengths department, obviously he is probably the best car in the entire country at passing cars, and that shows with these numbers here. Even in 2017, he was one of the best at passing cars in the country, and I still think he is able to do that in 2023. Since 2019, he has passed, let me repeat this. Since 2019, with just the Outlaws, we're not talking about High Limit, we're not talking about the All-Stars or Central PA, he has passed 810 cars in the features, which is absolutely mind-blowing. So he is one of the best guys at passing cars in the country. So if he, this coming season with High Limit, if he has a bad qualifying night and he has to start mid-pack in the feature, he is going to be coming forward and more than likely finishing inside the top 10 or the top 5. Now, in the weakness department, he has not point raced in over 4 years. And when he did point race, things obviously did not go very well. 10th, 9th, and 10th in points, a lot of DNFs along the way, and not very much consistency along the way either. So that could definitely be an issue for Brent Marks. He's going to have to figure out that, if I'm running 18th one night, I cannot pull in. I've got to keep going, and he needs to salvage bad nights. If he is running 18th, he needs to take that car and try and make it a 15th place car. Don't take an 18th place car or pull off the track or try and make it an 8th place car and get into a wreck, right? Obviously, points are going to be super, super important this year with High Limit, with that charter system, wanting to be inside the top 5 to get one of those charters for 2026. In my opinion, the points, obviously you want to win the championship, but the top 5 for that deal, for the charter deal, is going to be a big storyline throughout the year. Now, as far as the prediction goes, I think Brent Marks is going to get somewhere between 6 and 8 wins. Now, the short track stuff is not exactly his best. He can win on short tracks, don't get me wrong, but his half-mile program is really where he succeeds a lot. But I still think he's going to get somewhere between 6 and 8 wins, and I think he's going to be battling between him and Rico for 2nd and 3rd in the point standings, and he is I think he's almost guaranteed a charter position. He's going to be in the top 5 in the points this year. Signing Brent Marks on with High Limit Racing in 2024, it might be one of the biggest signings with the exception of Rico Abreu. Brent Marks is a household name when it comes to sprint cars. He's a fan favorite, and he's a very, very good race car driver. He's been around a long time. And then obviously, like I just said, points are super important this year with that charter system in place. So if Brent Marks wants to have a charter, he's going to have to figure out how to point race. Don't DNF. Take a bad night and try and turn it into an okay night and salvage a good points finish. So that's all we've got for Brent Marks here today on this 2024 High Limit Racing season preview. Let me know down in the comment section below, what do you think Brent Marks will do next year? How many wins? Where does he end up in the points? How will his season go with High Limit Racing? Let me know down in the comment section below. We'll be back tomorrow for another season preview.